Hey guys, it's Nichelle with Couch Chronicles, and this is going to be a duo video today for Couch Chronicles and Healthy Life Group. So I'm going to drop the video in actually both of the groups that I facilitate. So it is my sincere desire to transform minds, uplift spirits, and propel you to your next level of elevation. So I have been really just processing a lot of things in my life, and then one of the things that I have been thinking a lot about is mindful eating. So I practice mindful eating. As some of you well know, because I've shared this with some of you, I used to have migraines really, really, really bad, to the point that they actually wanted to give me shots in my head. That's how bad it was. And for a while, I was fasting a lot. I was going on a Daniel fast a lot. And during that fast, I would notice that I did not have migraines at all, like not a headache, nothing. And after going on multiple fasts, I start slowly putting food back into my body, just to see how that food would actually affect my body. That's called mindful eating, at least a aspect of mindful eating. I'm very intentional about what I eat. I don't eat really fast most times, so I can see, how is this food affecting my body? Is it giving me a headache? Is it causing me stomach problems? Is it affecting my eyes? Is it triggering my anxiety? Does it trigger depression? So I actually very, very, very carefully watch my food intake and what I eat. So I'm saying all that to say that I mindful eat. And I noticed that when I put certain foods back in my body, it was triggering my migraines. One of the biggest contributors to my migraine was beef. And for so many reasons, we should move away from beef. But for this particular reason, I moved away from beef because of my migraines. So when I mindful eat, I notice that sugar actually triggers. Sometimes it triggers my depression. Sometimes it triggers my anxiety. For the most part, it triggers depression in me. So I'm very mindful of what I eat. I read labels to see how much sugar is in the label. Last week, my anxiety was triggered a lot, and I had anxiety attacks on a very regular basis, which I will talk about in another video. I don't want to get it bogged down. I want to get bogged down in it in this video, but a lot of that was due to what I was eating. Things that used to be very good to me, or that didn't affect me at all. Some of those things now affect me because I've removed them for so long, and when I decided to add them back, they have a negative impact on my body because my body has gotten used to not processing that food. So when I say mindful eating, you have to be very intentional about what you eat, how long it's taking you to eat, how you're noticing how it affects your body, how it's affecting your mind, your mental state. And so I was reading a book called The Gut, which is why I'm here. So I was reading a book called The Gut, and I will drop the title and the author in this video. But one of the things that we're talking about in The Gut is about the oils that we actually take in. And one of the things that it mentioned was cold compressed olive oil. And actually, by sheer God's design, I actually was studying the olive tree this morning just based on the scripture that I read, but I'll go into that in my blog. But so it talked about how cold compressed olive oil was actually really good for you, because one of the things we don't realize is that, or even think about on a regular basis, is that when we eat food, our liver is working to actually take out all the negative things that's not doing our body any good, and trying to get rid of and flush all those negative things out, and it goes through your system and distributes as such. But the one thing that the liver that does not process through the liver is all the oil that we eat. vegetable oil, Lord, the things that we grew up on, that we don't even think about, it doesn't process. Those things go straight to the heart, and you're leaving it to the heart to work overtime to try to process all that fat that you're actually giving to your body. But one of the points that it did make is that when we eat out, we subject ourselves to the oils that people like McDonald's or Burger King use, which they're going to find the cheapest oil and the things that are not the best for you to get the lowest cost for their food price. So you're subjecting yourself to the cheapest, lowest denominator for their bottom line. You're processing that in your body. And I kept thinking, how many of us ever thought, what are we subjecting ourselves to, lending ourselves to other people and convenience? And so when you're going throughout your day, not even just about food, what are you subjecting yourself to through convenience and lending yourself through other people's stuff? As it relates back to the food part, you don't know what McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, all these people are actually using, and how hard your heart is working to actually process all that fat out. And we feed it to our kids, we feed it to ourselves, and we mindlessly eat these things, and our heart is working over time when there's so much there are so many other options and better options. It may cost you more, but it's so much better for your heart in the end. And not just about food. There are so many things we subject our heart and our minds and our lives to because it's convenient. It costs us less. So I implore you today, take a look and be mindful of what you intake in your ear gate, your eye gate, what you allow to penetrate your heart and in your very existence, your lives, your children's lives. We are subjecting our children to all of this stuff, and we don't even think about it for ourselves, so we really don't think about it for our kids. But what are you subjecting yourself to out of convenience? Because it costs us less. Think about this. If it costs you more, but it increased the longevity of your life, wouldn't it be worth it in the end? Wouldn't it benefit you the most? So today, just take a hard look and be mindful of what you eat, but be mindful of your mindset. Be mindful of what comes through your ears. Be mindful of what comes out of your mouth, what you allow to penetrate your heart. It may cost you something, but when you think about the longevity of your life that you will gain back, you will discover that it's all worth it. Anyway, I love you guys, and I hope that helped someone today. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And I hope all of you have an amazing day. Peace.